Penetration testers are extremely important. Computers and networks are constantly under attack for all sorts of different reasons, and a good penetration test is one of the most sophisticated countermeasures an organization can take. Penetration testing is the practice of finding vulnerabilities and risks and mitigating them to secure a computer or network system. The terms penetration testing and ethical hacking are often used interchangeably, but ethical hacking is an all-embracing term that includes all legal hacking methods, so penetration testing is actually a part of ethical hacking. Red team and blue team are other terms you'll run across. In the cybersecurity field, an offensive security team is called a red team, and a defensive security team is called a blue team. As the red team attempts to break into a system, the blue team works to keep them out. There are 5 phases in the ethical hacking process. They are reconnaissance or footprinting, scanning and enumeration, gaining access, maintaining access, and clearing your tracks. Let's look at each phase. The first step is reconnaissance, also known as footprinting. In this phase, the hacker begins gathering information about their target. This can include gathering publicly available information, using social engineering techniques, or dumpster diving. The second step is scanning the target. At this point, the hacker is actively engaged with the target. Scanning is really a natural extension of reconnaissance. The hacker uses various tools to gather in-depth information about the network, computer systems, live systems, open ports, and more. Extracting information such as usernames, computer names, network resources, shares, and services is called enumeration. The third step in the hacking method is where the real fun begins. This is when the hacker takes all the information gathered through their reconnaissance and scanning and exploits the vulnerabilities they found to gain access to a target. After the hacker gains access, maintaining that access becomes the next priority. You can do this by installing backdoors, rootkits, or Trojan horses. Once the hacker has permanent access to the system, they can use it to launch more attacks. The final step in the hacking process is clearing your tracks, when the hacker overwrites log files to hide the fact they were ever there. Another methodology is the penetration testing lifecycle. The penetration testing lifecycle is almost identical to the ethical hacking process. It includes reconnaissance or footprinting, scanning and enumeration, gaining access, maintaining access, and reporting. As you can see, the only difference is that last phase. After any penetration test, a detailed report must be compiled. Documentation is extremely important protection for the hacker and the organization. There are other methodologies that will help you as well. The Open Web Application Security Project, or OWASP, describes techniques for testing the most common web application and web service security issues. The Open Source Security Testing Methodology Manual, also known as the OSTEM, attempts to create one accepted method for a very thorough security test. And the National Institute of Standards and Technology Special Publication 800-115, also known as NIST SP 800-115, is a guide to the basic technical aspects of conducting information security assessments. There are 3 types of penetration tests: black box, white box, and gray box. A black box test is when the ethical hacker has no information about the target or network. This test is the best for simulating an outside attack and ignores insider threats. The major drawback to this type of test is it takes more time and is much more expensive, mostly because a lot of time and resources have to go into the reconnaissance and scanning phases. A white box test is the opposite of a black box. The ethical hacker is given full knowledge of the network, computer systems, and infrastructure. The white box test allows a comprehensive and thorough test of the environment, but it's not very realistic, as an attacker almost never has all the information handed over to them. The final type of test is a gray box test. This test simulates an insider threat. The ethical hacker is given partial information about the network and computer systems. This can be IP configurations, email lists, computer names, or other information an insider would realistically have. The gray box test requires less reconnaissance and scanning, but doesn't give all the information to the ethical hacker. That's it for this lesson. In this lesson, we talked about the difference between penetration testing and ethical hacking, the different methodologies and frameworks, and the types of penetration tests.